Hi, all Muglax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. So, couple of days out from when I normally record this, and we had the family get together over Zoom on Thursday, which is when I normally record 7 Days to Die, and so I didn't, but I had enough episodes of stuff to push out. I think I missed a day and I had some other things recorded, so it's all good. So I haven't actually recorded in a couple of days. Um, and I missed a day because for whatever reason, I have talked about the weirdness of YouTube for me and downloading and stuff, and or uploading. I mean, that is not what I want to click on. Yeah, you got all your parts. Oh, it does say I can make a meat stew. Huh. Meat, potatoes, corn, fat, and water. Meat, potatoes, corn, fat, water. I know I'm very hungry. That is why I came back to make some meat stews. Potato is definitely the thing slowing me down. Potato is the hardest thing to get your hands on. I should probably go get some dirt and think about uh, oh, I've got some of the boiled meats. Yeah, it's gonna take like 6 minutes to get all that meat stew made, so we'll let that do its thing while I go get some dirt so I can make some more plots, and then I will think about expanding my farm out a little bit. Ooh, my trees are a big mess going on over here. Um, but yeah, it was interesting. It was good. I think we should have planned it out a little better um, than we did. Um, it ran fine. I'm not saying it didn't run fine, but it definitely got a little at one point. Okay, so my sister's family and I and my sister live in the same house, and so we all got presents for each other, right? So we had a lot of presents here from that. Well, then my brother and his family have their own house, and so they got presents for each other, but um they didn't plan on opening them while we were all together, but that never got communicated. And so once they had gotten through the presents that I had bought them, and then my sister and her family had bought them, they stopped opening presents, and so the problem is that my end had not been picking just the presents that they had purchased for us, right? And so some of the presents were presents from people in this house to other people in this house that we had been opening, and they didn't say anything. And so they only opened presents from us to them. And so we reached a point where they didn't have any more presents to open, and we had like 5 presents from them to us still to open. Um, and so I felt like somebody somewhere should have said something about that. I wasn't involved in the planning, um, although I did think that all of the presents that they had dropped off for us were in a box together, and I thought we should leave them in the box so it would make it easier to hand out and say, okay, here's a present from you guys to us. Um, and then for whatever reason, they, right before, took all the gifts out of that box and mixed them in, not just put them in front, mixed them in with all the other presents, which did make an issue. Oh, and there was a. Okay, so I got a weird story. Not super weird, but it's I I didn't I have a fairly one page, but it's covered in things, wish list of stuff that I think that'd be nice to have, but I don't really want to pay for it. And so that stuff is my Christmas/birthday list. We do lists in my house, and um, so on there is a movie, Red Sonja. Now I've seen Red Sonja. It's an old movie. It came out in the '80s, and but we like that kind of sword and sorcery fantasy stuff, right? And I also get the Red Sonja comics, so I thought it'd be fun to get a new, like, Blu-ray copy. We have a DVD copy, but I thought it'd be fun to get a Blu-ray copy of the movie. Not like fun. I'm gonna run out and spend $10 on this movie, right? But for my brother and his family, it seems like the kind of thing that they would buy me for my Christmas from the whole family and call it good. So, um, so they decided to get the Red Sonja movie. Well, they got this new Red Sonja movie out, that's animated, and so my sister-in-law is just freaking out for some reason about how they bought the wrong movie, and she didn't want me to be mad. Like, when have I ever been mad? What are you talking about? Uh, and oh, I done dug till my shovel broke. And so what happened was, instead of buying the classic, I call it classic, it's not classic. Buying the live action, that's the word I meant. Red Sonja movie. I meant classic as in old. Um, they bought the animated one. And so she was like, we bought the wrong present for you. I'm so sorry. She emailed me like a month ago. Uh, we got the wrong present for you. I didn't know. I got confused. I've looked for the other one, and where I ordered it from says it won't be here till after Christmas. So you're gonna get the wrong present at Christmas time, and I don't want you to, act like you didn't want the movie. Um, or not the movie. She didn't tell me it was. You didn't want the gift. I know it's the wrong gift. So when you open it up, it's not gonna be what you asked for. And I'm like, that's okay. It's presents, whatever. Like, I might complain about what it is, but I'm not gonna like throw it back in your face or something. I'm not gonna complain to them about what it is. Okay. Um, I'm I'm that kind of passive aggressive polite. um, Now I will complain. One time, one time they showed up for Christmas, and I know they forgot to get me a Christmas present. Um, and on the way, they stopped and bought a big bag of candy and handed it to me, still in the bag with the receipt, probably, from the store that's between our house and theirs. Everybody else's present was wrapped, right? But not mine. So I know they are not great at getting presents for me, which is weird because I have this big list that I've been handing out for years. All you gotta do is go on the list and pick something because I know that they don't know. Oh, you know what? I bet I've used like almost all of my niter uh, making gunpowder and all these bullets. Oh man, look at those meat stews. Okay. I kind of want to expand my base out a little bit here, I think. So I'm going to go down and grab some wood so I can make some more frames. And then I'm going to build up off top of this building over here some more supports out that way so I can make a bigger garden. Whoa. Got glitch turned there. Whoa. Nope, you're a real tree. You're just doing weird things to me. Okay, weird things are happening with these pine trees. Woof. Don't look to the right, man. Don't look to the south. It don't work. So anyways, so apparently the family member who she had ordered that present for me, she told them that she had bought the wrong thing. But didn't tell them what it was, obviously. And so when they put the presents in the box, he decided that since it was the wrong thing, he just wasn't going to put it in the box. And so then we're digging around looking for it for like 10 minutes at the end of this Zoom call. And then he finally asks what they're looking for. And they told him, and he's like, "Oh, well, I didn't put it in because you said it was the wrong thing." So it was there. I have it now. My brother brought it over because he had to come here to get something. They spent so much time here the last 4 days. Like I get it. Like I don't know. I don't know why we didn't just have Christmas there. Uh, or here. I mean, probably there. There were some medical issues, but and not the COVID. Some recovering from surgery issues, I guess. So I completely understand not wanting to come here with that, but we could have gone there and taken a box of presents for them. In fact, I sent a box of presents for them. So I don't know why, but it was weird, anyways. The whole thing. So then my brother's like, "Yeah, so I know this is the wrong gift." Like, "Yes, I know. You guys keep telling me that over and over again. It's the wrong gift. It's something I don't have and something I wanted, so it seems like a good gift to me. So I don't know why you keep calling it the wrong gift. Because it doesn't seem like a wrong gift. Oh, that's not what I want to do. It doesn't seem like a wrong gift to me. You know. And but that's what they keep saying. And so, all right, what is the distance that I usually go here? This is a very wide distance, but I think I was basing it off of the metal pillars that are about gone. So I think I usually go over like what, 1, 2, 4 maybe. Also, why is this box not even with the top of this? What kind of chicanery is this block that I can't put my block down there? Ooh, I'm hungry. but yeah, so it was a all right Christmas. Uh, the Zoom call thing, I did have to kind of step in and run, basically. I don't know how they thought it was gonna work. Like everybody, uh, all the adults but one, is involved in like taking classes online or online meetings or stuff like that. And um, so I can understand that a couple of them who maybe don't do it wouldn't be familiar, but everybody else should have been prepared for, you know, sound issues, internet issues, and so everybody was just all trying to talk at once, and you couldn't hear anything until I'm like, look, we're gonna do this one at a time, us then them, and until the presents are all done. And of course, we've got the uh, 7-year-old niece who wants to be the center of attention, uh, who won't stop talking. Ever. Um, but yeah, it was good. It was a good day, I guess. So, and then yesterday, um, so yesterday was Christmas, and then our friends showed up and dropped off some of their kids, well, one of their kids here, um, to hang out for the day. 1, 2, 3, which I thought was weird. Because it's Christmas Day, like, which totally ruined my plans for the day, basically. Because we were supposed to watch some of the new movies that came out on the streaming services yesterday. And then, I mean, we watched one of them, but it took forever. So many pauses and waiting on people. And, uh, uh, do I have my. I can't remember. I don't have my hammer on me. I need to go get my hammer. So, yeah, so we did make it through Soul, which was pretty good. That's the new Pixar movie. I like that. But we were also supposed to watch the new Wonder Woman movie. And, I did, but, I watched it by myself because we didn't finish. We started watching Soul at 8:30. And we didn't finish watching Soul until 11:30, so it took us 3 hours to get through a movie that's like an hour and a half long or whatever because of all the stoppages. Uh, yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why it was 8:30. So here's the idea. We are gonna watch uh, the new movie, right? That's the plan. That's the plan I made. And then somehow, our friend drops off her kid, uh, and vanishes for the whole rest of the day. And so nobody knows when the kid's supposed to go home. and we have to wait for my brother-in-law to get back from work because he worked yesterday. And so I streamed I didn't stream, but I hung out with Frat on his stream. We played some Gauntlet, which was a lot of fun. And okay, this might cause a problem here. I've got to get this other broken pillar in place, I think. What's going on? And so I'm streaming. We started at like 5:30 or something. And we normally eat dinner about 7:30, somewhere in there, and 8, somewhere in there. And so my sister asked what we were having for dinner, and I'm like, I don't know, what do you want? She's like, well, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, how about frozen pizzas? Because we ate out the day before. We had takeout, and so she's like, yeah, I guess that'll work. I'm like, all right. And so I'm expecting them to either say, hey, start making the pizzas, or B, the pizzas are made. Oh no. Ow. That's not what I wanted to do. And so 7 o'clock passes. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I heard my brother-in-law come home at like 6:30. He's a cook, so he usually cooks here. And so I thought maybe, well, since they didn't call for me to come make the pizzas, which I often do, then maybe they opted for something else. And 7:30, 8 o'clock goes by, and I'm like, listen, guys, I know this didn't work. I know we're having fun here, but I'm starving and I've got to go see what is going on with dinner. This is what's going on with dinner. They decided that everybody was on their own for dinner and didn't bother to tell me. Oh, yeah, I was just thinking you hadn't eaten dinner. I was gonna come tell you. Were ya? Were you really? Because it's really strange that dinner should have been an hour ago. And then I finally come to see what's going on, and now you're like, oh, I was gonna come tell you. I got my doubts. That was truthful. Axe. I need my axe. Can I just pick this up? No, this is broken. And, but yeah, so that's why we got started so late, because nobody told me. If I'd have known, I'd have been up there an hour and a half before that, making pizzas. Ooh, I need food. My guy just won't stop being hungry today. I bought this pizza oven, so it's great. It's weird. It's a pizzazz pizza something, and it's got like it cooks out in the open, which I think is weird, but I kind of like it because it makes the whole house smell like pizza. And so uh, it doesn't require. It takes about the same amount of time to cook the pizza, but it doesn't require the preheat of the oven. And so I can cook a pizza in about 20-25 minutes instead of 40-45 minutes waiting for the oven to preheat and then cook the pizza. So I like that a lot. And it's good. It's better than being cooked in the oven, I almost think. Um, it's basically a toaster oven, right? Uh, so, uh, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I did watch Soul. It was very good. I think it might be one of the better, for me, better Pixar movies. I really enjoyed the story in that. And then I watched the new Wonder Woman movie, Wonder Woman 84. That was it was good, but it wasn't great. The first Wonder Woman movie was definitely better. Um, in my opinion, I felt there was maybe too much going on in this movie, and so and I feel like maybe the movie just it didn't try to do too much, but it tried to be in too many places. Um, and there was a oh well apparently I can't count. How am I over here? I thought this was 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that what I did? I was gonna put 4 spaces between these, and I put 3. That's what happened. So, um, not really any spoilers necessarily. I just felt like they could have some of the things that were supposed to be major things. I don't think got enough um, weight to them, and like I get what they were trying to do with a lot of it, but I don't think they necessarily. Oh, I thought maybe I would survive that, but I didn't. So glad I ate that meat stew and just wasted by falling off a building. Um, and some things that should have been played up more. Uh, I guess slight spoiler. If you've seen the trailer, I don't know if it's much of a spoiler at that point. I honestly don't know if I've seen the trailer. But oh no, oh no, oh no, I am bound to the wrong location. I always forget that. I gotta run home now. So so it was an interesting take on Maxwell Lord, who's comic book character I am familiar with. They changed a little bit about how he works and his powers. And that was fine. It was a fine take on his powers. Um, but um, I don't want to give anything away, but there's an aspect used to fight with him that felt very, very secondary to me. And um, I think had they cutscenes were used at the end of the movie, and I think if they had played them out a little more across the movie and intertwined them with some of what was going on, um, like had added some stuff between a couple of the characters and maybe used that to show some motivation that was used at the end of the movie that didn't really feel real. Um, I don't want to give anything away, so that's what I'm gonna say about that. I guess it's just that they didn't build a relationship. I felt in a way that gave weight to the events that happened. And so it was just like, oh yeah, this is how this happens. And it wasn't like, oh, that's his motivation for why this happens. Like, so, um, so it was very, it didn't play out as well as it could have, in my opinion, regarding that. And then, the the other character who makes an appearance is Cheetah, and um, I felt like they should have. There's a lot more weight to their relationship between Wonder Woman and Cheetah in the comics that they had like one throwaway scene basically that was supposed to establish everything, I guess, and it wasn't their relationship is a little more weighted than what it was in this movie. Like they're not like they're friends before Cheetah, and the movie didn't really have them as friends before Cheetah. Like it's a weird it was a weird way of to me of playing out the motivation behind Barbara becoming Cheetah. Um, and I felt that could have been cleaned up a little better. And then I do have to talk about one. I'm gonna spoil one scene segment in here a little bit, and that was there was no point for them to go to Egypt. I just don't understand why that was in the movie at all. It had nothing to do with. I mean, yes, they gave reasons for them for being there. It wasn't like they just suddenly showed up in Egypt, but it was not necessary for the movie for that to have been done in Egypt with that character who just suddenly appeared out of nowhere in the movie. Basically, wasn't involved in anything. Um, Not even like he wasn't a major plot point, and the movie's like 2 hours and 40 minutes long or something like that. And so I didn't understand why that character, he's not like a super bad guy, super villain or anything like that, just a dude, and the only thing the bad guy got from him was some armed guards, and none of the there was no reason for them to go to Egypt for a couple of armed guards. Uh, it just seemed bizarre. I don't know. It yeah, the plot's a little bit all over the place because of some of that stuff. But it's an all right movie. It just there's a lot going on that I didn't think you had to have, and you could have rearranged some things to definitely make a better story out of what everything that they wanted to go for could have been in that movie, and it could have been shortened and had better streamlined scenes than what they had. It was just a lot. I enjoyed it. I just wished it had been more epic, I guess. It's not as good as the first movie. It's not as epic as the first movie. Um, I saw some stuff about how they were arguing over the fight scene with Ares, but man, the fight scene with Ares is like my favorite part of Wonder Woman. Uh, I love the part where he puts on his helmet and then uses his fingers to molten melt. There we go. Melt is the word. Melt the metal down to make his eye holes. I thought that was awesome. But just gonna grab a little bit of this here while I'm here. Yeah, and then I guess real quick, I'm gonna try to talk about here. We played our D&D on Wednesday night, and I was super excited because uh, I they got this spell that's been in the game for a long time now, years, a couple years, called Steel Wind Strike, and I have been wanting to see that spell in action. I watch a few different groups play D&D, and I have played in multiple campaigns, but I've never played a class that can use it. And so I'm finally playing a class that has access to it, and so I took it. And so I've just been waiting for the right moment to do Steel Wind Strike. And so uh, we uh, we get into this room, and we went down to the 8th floor now because we were done with the 7th floor basically. And so we're fighting around on the 8th floor. It's a swamp. Uh, and we ran into some things. We fought them. There were like 3 of them. So Snow 3 isn't enough for Steel Wind Strike. Steel Wind Strike needs like 5 targets. It can be done with less than 5 targets, but it can hit up to 5 targets. So obviously, I want 5 targets. And so we just hadn't fought anything since I think I got level 5 on floor 6, and nothing on floor 6 came in a group big enough to use it. And then floor 7, we didn't fight anything except like single target fights. And so uh, I'm not wasting Steel Wind Strike, which only hits 1 time per target on a single character. That's just dumb. I mean, I guess it's pretty powerful, so it's not totally dumb to use it on less than 5 targets. But I wanted that big moment where I got to use it. And so we finally run into a large group that wants to fight us that were dangerous enough, I felt, to warrant using my highest level ability to date. And so uh, I, uh, I get in there, and this necromancer is guarding the gate to, or guarding the path to floor 8 and won't let us through. And I'm like, well, we can't have that. We can't let this necromancer obviously tell us that we can't go through, right? I mean, we have to go through to the next floor. I mean, I guess we don't have to. We don't have a reason for doing any of this stuff, but I'm not letting him stop me now. I've already tore through 7 floors of this place. I am gonna finish this off, and so we get in there, and our DM rolls highest, uh, and so he. I guess I should have been making these farm blocks here while we were walking. And so he casts this spell called Fairy Fire on them because they're all in a group. And then I'm like, all right, they're all within 30 feet of each other. That's the other part of the spell, is they have to be within 30 feet of each other. And so he or they have to be within. I think they have to be within 30 feet of where you cast the spell. I'm not. That's the way I played it, and so our DM is like, all right, so the necromancer casts a spell, and then he's going to, because he plays with these rules where you can cast multiple spells in a turn. It's not how the game's supposed to work, but he refuses to believe that spellcasters are as powerful as melee fighters. And so he doesn't think it's fair that spellcasters only get to cast one spell a turn, basically, and melee fighters get to attack multiple times, ignoring the fact that a spell at higher levels does like 6d10 damage, and my fighter does 2d12, 4d12 damage per turn unless I use special abilities, and so they're balanced. He just doesn't believe it, and so uh, not only does he do that, but then he's like gonna drink a heal potion because our thief got in and hit the necromancer once, and then he's like changes his mind, and then he's like maybe I'll go invisible because that's what he does, and then this cracked me up. So every time we fight some guy who has the ability to go invisible, he makes him go invisible and run away, and so the rogue is like, yep, he's going invisible. And the DM's like, what? He's like, yep, every time. Every time they go invisible and then they run away. Every fight. He's like, that doesn't happen. He's like, oh yeah, it happens, as the rogue says. Every time you make the bad guys turn invisible and run away. It's like, fine, he won't turn invisible and run away then. I'm like, well, good. That way we can have an actual fight for once in a while instead of a chase him through the hallway. And don't get all snippy because that's what you do, man. Uh, and so uh, he teleports instead and runs away. No, he teleports into the middle of his undead monsters because our DM thinks that that's safe. And then he casts Fairy Fire with his character, and Fairy Fire hits the Necromancer and a bunch of his guys. So Fairy Fire gives you advantage on your attacks, which means you get to roll twice and take the higher number. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And so um, it gets to my Bard's turn, and I'm like, I've been waiting to do this since this spell came out in D&D. I've been waiting. Oh, I've been waiting. And he's like, "Oh no, I forgot you even had that." And I'm like, "Yes, yes, I do." And the rogue's like, "What are you about to do?" I'm like, "You'll see. This is awesome." And so I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna run forward 10 feet toward the enemy. I'm gonna pull out my blades, and then I'm going to vanish." And the rogue goes, "That's it?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna like DBZ teleport from bad guy to bad guy." And so I teleport to the necromancer, do my 6d10 damage, which kills the necromancer, and then I teleport to the next guy and I do my 6d10 damage to that guy, killing him, and then I teleport to the next guy, 6d10 damage, killing him, and then I teleport to the next guy, 6d10 damage, he's still alive. And so I get my 5 guys with 6d10 and every attack lands. And but we went from a large group of bad guys. There were like 9 or 12 of them, and now they're 4 of their biggest guys down, including the major threat of the spellcaster. And it was awesome. It was beautiful. I've been waiting to use that spell. Ugh. I played in a group with a guy who had access to it, but he didn't like to attack that way, and so wanted to be um, he wanted to be a healer class, and I don't know why he didn't just take one in the first place. but he took a ranger class, which has access to the spell. And by the time we got to the point where he was a high enough level to have that spell, he had already started pushing into paladin so that he could have heal spells and be a back of the back of the line, not fighting person. Because he, I don't know, he went on this huge kick about how his character was upset by all the things we were killing and didn't want to kill anymore. And I'm just like, oh, all those cool, like, multi attack spells that Rangers get, and he's not using any of it. But yeah. I did try to play a Ranger once in campaign because of Steel Wind Strike, and they got a spell where they shoot arrows in the sky, and a whole bunch of them come back down. But the campaign didn't last long enough for me to even really play that guy. So, but yeah, it was awesome. It's one of my favorite moments in D&D now. Is being able to use that Steel Wind Strike and having it work so well that first time I used it. Won't be the last for sure, but yeah. All right. Well, with that, I am gonna call it a night, and so be better than small things. Lean to the light. I will talk to you later.